So this is episode 1 of this podcast, and this podcast is Brown Boys Theory. Honestly, my dad was like a little bit skeptical about the name because he thought it was just gonna be like a podcast only for brown people. But I'm like, you know what? It's just two brown guys just talking about life.
Exactly. I mean, we have a specific, perspective that we have being brown, and we just want to share it.
Exactly. We're both in college. We're both freshmen right now. My major is within computer science,
and I'm majoring in public relations.
Yeah. So, do you want to like get more into college, or like what you want to get into?
I mean, we could talk about college for sure, like with the whole COVID situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, first off, let's talk about the ending of high school.
I know, dude. Like, what? It ended like sometime in March.
Yeah. So like, did you ever think that we would be hit with something like this?
Honestly, no. Like, I mean, especially like in January, February type thing, like COVID was like just getting there. And obviously, like even the president said like, oh, it's not like that big of a deal. Like we can still continue doing our stuff. And also I think there's like some schools that actually closed like much earlier than ours as well. So I was also like a bit skeptical, but I thought like, you know what, we're still going to go with it and everything. And even like up to the last day, I think it was March 13th, I still remember it. Like they even said like, hey, we're gonna still continue school. Like even with everything going on, we're still gonna do it. And then literally by the time that we got home, we got like the phone notification saying like, hey, we're closing it for like 3 weeks. And then it moved to like a month, 2 months and everything like that. And then, most of us kind of just like lost hope. We're like, you know what, it's not gonna happen. And I think the one thing that I really do miss is that we were actually planning to do I think it was like a school field trip to Disney. So we were gonna like get there like around like the evening time, and also like Disney actually opens up the pretty much like the park also like during midnight as well, especially for high school students. So it would have just been like a really cool experience, but with everything happening, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. For me, I still remember, like I was sitting in 5th period, and we just heard on the PA speaker, we're like, oh yeah, school is canceled for the next 3 weeks due to COVID. And we're like, thank God, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
But then a week later, we're like, yeah, you guys are done for good. And then we're like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Exactly.
Bro. How do you feel with your first year of college being online?
Definitely an interesting experience because I wasn't actually planning to go to Sac State first. I think Sac State was like my second to like last choice of the college that I was going to. It's just like a backup choice for college because I was originally planning to go to a private school like in San Diego called Point Loma. Like I really do like the place. The major is also good there, computer science, but also like literally right behind the school is like Sunset Cliffs. So it's pretty much like a beach. And bro, especially with like drone, since I do like videography and stuff, it's such a cool thing to do. So I was originally planning to go there, but with COVID and everything happening, and also my dad was like telling me like, hey, Sac State is probably the best choice since it's close by, not too expensive. And also like the major for computer science at Sac State is like one of the best there.
Yeah. That's cool though. Like to just, if you were to go down in San Diego for college, like that would have been really cool. Yeah. And also just to like meet new friends. I think that's like the one thing that COVID's just like really bad, especially with like the college experience. Not just college, like high schoolers and middle schoolers as well. Like not being able to have that interaction with others is also, I think that's probably the worst part, especially with it. Like what about you for, having online college? For me, to be honest, because I'm a public relations major, a lot of my classes are communication based. Yeah. So a lot of my professors, like they're like, you have to turn on your camera. Yeah. So you have to interact with other people. You have to communicate. And just based off that, early on, we were able to create like some pretty good friendships. We have this group chat going. Shout out to all the comms homies. But yeah, it's what we did was we made the best of what we could do. And honestly, I think that was great just because you don't feel like you're alone necessarily. You can talk to people, you can get to know people. It definitely sucks because I would have very much liked to go on campus, right, just to party and whatever. But what you gonna do, right? Yeah, I mean, even for me, like obviously I'm also taking communications too as like a class. And for that one, like most of the time we have to turn on our cameras since we are having like conversations and stuff. But for like pretty much all my other classes, like they don't require you to turn on your cameras. So for like my math class, philosophy, anything like that, like I just don't generally have it on. Purely just, more for like privacy and stuff. But
Yeah, just like, what do you think about like, how students just generally just don't like to turn on their camera? Because I feel like I'm also kind of like one of those people as well when it comes to that.
I feel like it depends. So, because I've joined the Sac State's PRSSA club, which is a public relations club, and in there we talk about stuff like this, right? So, we were meeting with some people who run their own businesses, right? And they were telling us like, in today's culture, just because of COVID and everything, out of respect, when you're talking to someone, you should probably have your camera on, just because it seems a little formal and respectful, right?
Yeah.
But then we went back to one of my other classes, and we're discussing the same topic, and they're like, if it's a lecture-based class, I feel like the professor isn't gonna care.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel like especially for my philosophy course, like honestly, he doesn't really care if we don't turn on our cameras and stuff. I kind of do feel bad for him because he like tries to make jokes like for us to kind of have like a reaction and stuff. But yeah, especially if it's like a lecture or anything like that, I feel like most teachers, they just like I don't think they're gonna be too big about it. But especially if it is going to be like a conversation where like it has to be like that face-to-face thing, because again, like that face-to-face interaction is like 80% of the conversation, right? Like the last 20% is actually talking. So definitely like within communications and stuff, like I mean, it makes sense. Like you got to turn on your camera, you got to have that interaction, because also like the teachers are taking like their time to teach you and stuff. So it's just also like a respect thing as well.
Okay, I gotta ask a question on that.
All right, what's up?
Do you think that with the whole Zoom and online classes, professors and students are finally gonna get over that imperfect relationship? Like, to be honest, a lot of kids, they think, oh, when your professor messes up or gets a little overwhelmed, something like that, you're like, you laugh about it, right? You joke about it. You're like, wow, you're not supposed to do that. You're a professor. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But with everything going on right now, it happens like very often. So do you think this is going to be a big bridge between building a better understanding between students and teachers?
I feel like it does take a little bit of the stress that happens between like teacher and student, purely just because like I feel like you don't have to face like too much pressure, especially between like the two. At least you have like that gate behind you, so you kind of have like your own privacy around you. They have their own privacy. And honestly, especially for me, like anytime that I talk to my teachers, like I don't feel as scared as I am, especially like with high school teachers, since like I'm actually there in person. So I feel like it does make a difference between like in person and like online, of course. But yeah, like as you said, it definitely still happens and stuff. And I don't know, like just maybe over time it might happen, it may not happen. It's like just kind of like wherever it goes.
Yeah.
Like what about you? What do you think about it?
I think it definitely will, because just me personally, from my own experiences, when I was in high school, right, we used to like if the teacher messed up, some student anywhere in the corner of the class or anywhere in the class is gonna call that out. Right? They're gonna be like, oh, you messed up, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, right? Right now, everyone kind of being more understanding from what I've experienced. Everyone's like, oh, if the professor continues to talk when their mic is muted, right? They're like, oh, professor, your mic's muted. No one's going to call him out and be like, yo, you're so dumb. Your mic's muted.
I mean, like, I feel like there's obviously going to be students in the class that are going to be like, hey, like, your mic's muted. Make sure you turn it on. Especially, like, in my classes, too. I remember there's this one time with my history course that I think the professor behind it, I think his like internet wasn't working, and then he was just like completely out of the Zoom session, and then like one of the students became like the new host and stuff, and then after that it actually kind of got like a lot better too, because when the professor was there, like none of us were having a conversation, but when he wasn't there, like legit, like everyone was just talking and like having a good time and stuff, and just talking like either about history or just like what we're doing right now like at home and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like, especially one of the features with Zoom, like the breakout rooms, like you've been in that stuff, right? Like, what do you think about that? Because I feel like it's honestly a good feature to have.
Okay.
I don't know your opinion about it.
Here's my opinion on breakout rooms.
Okay.
Breakout rooms are a great feature, to be able to split the class up. Yeah. That's the closest you can get to like, breaking people off in groups.
Yeah.
But as soon as people go into breakout rooms, I feel like a lot of their just social skills leave.
Really?
Right. Just to be very like frank.
Okay.
Just because you're in a lot of group sessions in person school, what people would do is they just they'd talk to each other, like they wouldn't necessarily work the entire time, right?
Yeah.
They just have conversations because they already knew the person beforehand a little bit,
Okay.
right? Right now in college,
no one knows.
Yeah, we don't know each other that
exactly.
well,
Yeah.
right? So we can't have these conversations, like we used to, and it can't be like just about like in school you could just talk about like the game yesterday, right?
But also, like, I think it also depends on, like, how big the breakout room is. If it's, like, a small one, then, like, I can understand your side. And also, like, I've had the same experience, too. But I feel like if it's, like, the whole class without a professor, I feel like it'll go pretty easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it just depends, really.
Yeah, because when it's, like, the whole class, there's going to be 2 or 3 students that, feel the awkwardness and just decide to take over.
Yeah.
And that's going to loosen up the other students.
Yeah.
When it's, like, a breakout room of 2, 3 people, right, and no one steps up, then it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I feel like this time, like, either you have, like, really bad communication skills, especially with everyone else, or it's honestly, like, a good opportunity for those who don't speak well to actually, like, speak up. Because, like, now with everything going on, and since most people, like, don't like to speak up, especially during class, if you can speak up, like, it'll definitely help you out, especially, like, in communication. So,
yeah. Like, I've always enjoyed speaking out in class, just
100%.
being very vocal. And I've been trying to, implement that same idea into my college classes.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that challenging for me to be able to speak to people just because I enjoy it. But I have seen a lot of people that I wouldn't expect talking to be talking a lot just because they can... they're protected in a way.
Yeah,
like they're behind the screen, they can turn their camera off any moment they want to. They can leave the call any moment they want to. So they just feel more protected.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But also for like the younger generation too, especially since now they also have to like kind of, get like a bit more of a head start, especially with like how to use this technology and stuff. Since there is like one kid that I do know, it's like a family friend of ours. I think he's like either probably like middle of like elementary school. I think he's like probably 4th or 5th grade. But this kid, I'm not gonna lie, he's super smart of like how to use Zoom. So what he does is like, like you can take like a profile pic, right? Yeah. Of like your Zoom meeting, your what is it, like your Zoom account, and like while you turn off your camera, like that profile picture will come up. So pretty much like the teacher for his class thinks that he's like on camera, but in reality it's just like his profile pic. And then I think there's like this one time that like his mom told us that I think his teacher was calling on him for like one of the questions, and he was like watching TV while class was happening. So while he heard that, he went back to his computer. He like stood in the same position as his profile pic, turned on his camera, and then he just answered the question. Man. Like it's honest. Like kids are honestly super smart like nowadays, especially with technology. So
okay, do you think that the younger generation is gonna be like for us? And the generations before us, when we had to be smart like this, it was a little different, right? Because we were in person, obviously.
Exactly.
Do you think when eventually students go back to in-person classes, how do you think they're gonna get smart, like this type of smart?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be weird. I mean, I feel for kids that have already gone to in-person, like those who are like in 2nd, 3rd grade, above that, I feel like they're kind of getting back used to it. But especially for like kindergartners, people that are just getting into school, I feel like it's definitely going to be like a new experience, and kind of it's going to be like the same experience that you just went to kindergarten or you just like went to toddler school. So I feel like it's going to be very similar to that. You're going to feel like a bit weirded out because you're with more people, especially now it's social distancing since we can't be with that many people, and also like your mom or your dad isn't there too, so you don't have like that protection. So it's definitely gonna feel like a bit weird for like the first few weeks, but especially getting used to the class, meeting the other students with the teachers and stuff, hopefully being nice to kind of introduce themselves, then I feel like they can kind of get back into it. But it's definitely gonna take some time. It's not gonna be like one day.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%, I would agree. Yeah. I think just because of how the whole situation is placed out, a lot of people, they either like you said earlier, they've either lost their social skills or they've been trying to work on them, right? Yeah. But to the younger generation, that hasn't had a chance to work on their social skills as much in person, do you think that they're going to be better or worse communicators in the future? Because, right now, they're at a challenge communicating, right?
Yeah.
You're talking to someone that doesn't necessarily have to respond, right?
Yeah.
There's no formal etiquette in responding. So do you think they're going to be better or worse?
I feel like it also depends like on exactly how long COVID is going to happen too. Because I feel like the longer it's going to happen, the more time it's going to take them to kind of get into that communication place. But obviously, like if we can get a vaccine, if there can be like a way to do it, which I'm not going to say that's going to happen, but if it does happen, then I feel like they can kind of get back into it. But especially if it's going to be like for quite amount of years, like 3, 4, etc. years, then I feel like it's going to take more time. I think it's not going to come to them as easy as, for example, us.
Yeah. What's your opinion on like the vaccine though? How vaccine. Trump's been saying, "Oh, we're ready, bro. We're ready."
We're definitely not.
It's game time.
No.
Like, would you get this vaccine that Trump releases? If he releases
bro, like he's been saying it's going to come out since like April. Like he said Easter or something, and then, it was like summertime. He's like, yeah, just a few more weeks, September, October, and still like it's almost been like 9-10 months now that we still haven't gotten anything. So I don't think it's going to be coming out anytime soon for those who are like, having hope about it. Like, and also I think it's good to be optimistic, especially to be positive, not to like, reduce our attitudes or like anxiety and stuff like that. But just like don't rely on a vaccine coming out too shortly because, just FYI out there.
Just politically speaking, right? The elections are coming up, right?
Well, for those who are watching right now, you guys probably already know who the new president is. That's since true. We're recording like last couple of weeks of October, so pretty much like it's almost like 1 week away from election day. But you guys probably either know who the president is. So yeah.
So disregard that question completely. But do you think it's a political move? Do you think him getting a vaccine out right now is just a political move? Because if every single doctor has like said
it's not gonna happen,
hope, right? Do you think he could just whip something up and just say it is ready?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. Honestly, like he's just gonna say it because people are gonna like, especially Trump supporters, are just gonna believe him. But yeah, like I don't think really anything's gonna happen because I think like even before, especially like earlier this year, he was like saying to like inject yourself with like bleach or something or like do some like crazy thing.
Joking about.
Yeah, joking about, but in reality, like he was, I don't know. It was just
people
like
did it.
Yeah, and also he's like the president of the United States. Exactly. Like you can't joke about something like that.
You're in its position where people put their entire
trust and like
right. And you can't just joke about stuff like that.
Right? If you're like a comedian like Jimmy Fallon or something, then of course you can joke about that. But if you're the president, which people like have to get their information from, like that's just like a whole other story.
But that's political. It's
because even especially with my communication speech, I think we're having like a informative speech coming up pretty soon, and I'm talking about like COVID and like the development stages for the vaccine. And even like the CDC says, especially for just even like a regular vaccine, it takes like 12 to 18 months. So again, like the minimum amount it'll take is probably like, like 1.5 years, something like that. But even with that, again, like the thing about COVID is that it's always like an evolving, mutating virus. Like it's not just like a constant thing. So like one vaccine isn't going to solve the problem. It might even take multiple more vaccines, more years, more, clinics, trials, things like that. So yeah, like given with the timeline and everything, like if we people say 2021, but honestly, maybe like 2023, 2024, like in my opinion, if we can get like the first vaccine or something.
Here's my like fear. Whenever they announce, there's a vaccine, right? And people genuinely believe there's a vaccine, I feel like there's going to be another spike in COVID cases just because people are going to be like, forget social distancing, forget masks. There's a vaccine now. Who cares?
Yeah,
right?
And that's also like another big problem, especially with people that aren't educated enough, especially with like how serious COVID is, because maybe someone in their family hasn't dealt with it, especially like with the lungs and everything, because people are they're gonna have like ventilators like attached to them and stuff. So it's not like a fun, easy thing to do in the hospital, especially with more and more people getting sick with other causes and other people with COVID around. Like it's not gonna be a fun time in the hospital. But yeah, like definitely as you were saying, it's definitely not gonna be like an easy feat to accomplish.
And I mean, just to be honest, why would you want to go to a hospital? Like why are you putting yourself in a situation where you might have to go to a hospital? Just be safe.
Exactly. That's fact. That's fact. But also I feel like it's another thing, especially with the younger generation, because for those people that are like, oh, it's not going to affect me, like I can go out and party, especially like people in LA, I think like a lot of them were like arrested or something for having like large parties and stuff. So again, just like get educated, like don't do these dumb things, because especially you want to protect yourself, protect your family and everything like that. So just don't party right now. Not the best time.
And I mean, like it's after a certain point of time, you just have to realize that you're being so unreasonable just partying, right? Like exactly. I mean, if the least you can do is wait just for a little bit.
Exactly.
Like, it's not gonna ruin your life.
Yeah.
So I don't get what's so hard about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Especially with like, FaceTime, Zoom, everything like that. I mean, it definitely does make it like easier to kind of, like overlook that situation, not meeting with people. But also there are still technically ways to meet up with people. Just wear masks, obviously stay like 6 feet apart. I know like with us, we're like a little bit close, but obviously I know he's got gloves on, he's got his mask on. So, hey, we're staying safe. We're staying safe. First. Like I was thinking about like taking off our masks while we're doing it, but obviously I don't want to risk him getting COVID, or he doesn't want to risk me getting COVID. So we're trying to be safe and also give an example for you guys to make sure that you guys stay safe.
Like it's not, you can meet up with people in small groups, right?
100%.
There's no problem in that.
Yeah.
But it's a mess. It's not that bad. You can breathe through it. You can talk through it.
It's not the end of the world.
Exactly. Like there's always ways to get to your to get to your solution, right? So if you have to take one step this way just to get in front, there's no problem taking that step.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just take the step.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm still meeting up with Anish, right? Yeah. There's no problem.
Exactly.
We're still seeing each other.
Yeah.
We're just wearing masks. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the first time in a while since like we met up in person too. But like definitely, again, it's not like the end of the world. It's not like you guys can't meet up with people, because I know a lot of people out there is like, I can't let COVID take over my life. But still, like there are ways to do it. Just don't meet up with large, amount of people, and make sure to wear your mask. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's also situations where like I have elderly at home.
Yeah.
So I have to be extra precautious.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to risk my family getting sick or whatever.
100%. Yeah.
So I'm definitely, it's taking over my life a little bit, I would have to say, just because I don't go out. Like I'll go out maybe once a month. That even is kind of rare.
Yeah.
But still, like I think right now what's an important part is to see the positivity in things instead of the negative, right? If you take COVID and you just take it negatively, speaking from like I've done this, it did not work out good. Like you start thinking about so much stuff, and it takes.
There's so much like anxiety that happens as well.
Exactly. There's so much bad. So this is like a little thing I live by, dude. I want to be a special person in my life, right? I don't want to be just an average person. I want to be special.
Yeah.
So if everyone can find the bad, you can find a million reasons to be sad. But find that one reason to be happy, and that's what makes you special.
Wait, did you make that quote? Or?
On my mama.
Yo, okay.
Exactly.
Dude, SANKALP'S gonna be out your famous public relations, quotes, everything, poetry. Yes. Dude, you even like created a book and stuff. We can talk about that too.
Yeah, so I've written 2 books. One is an anthology. It's on Amazon. It's called Strength in Color.
Yeah. Make sure to go check it out. I'll leave like a link in the description for the video portion. For people that are listening on audio, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, whatever you guys listen to, just like try to go look up Sankalp. I'm pretty sure one of the first things that comes up is going to be his book. So make sure to check it out.
There's not too many people named Sankalp, so it's pretty unique. Yeah. But yeah, so all proceeds from the anthology go to the Black Lives Matter Foundation and the NAACP. Yeah. Just because, you know, we're at a point where we have to help our brothers and sisters out.
Exactly. 100%.
So why not?
Bro, it's such a good movement too. Like what you're doing with the books and everything, and you know, fundraising and pretty much like it's such a good step. Especially like, I mean, it's also one step to kind of get closer, especially in the community with everything that's happening. Like not only like does it give us like a break from like all the other stress that we're dealing with, especially like with work or school and stuff, but it also kind of like takes time to reflect on ourselves, kind of like figure out like what we need to do better to make ourselves better, but also to make other people better. And definitely like with the Black Lives Matter movement, I think it's one step like in the good direction as well. So
yeah. And I mean overall, I've just thought of this anthology as like a win situation. You know, we're donating to charity. People have a platform to speak out. I've published a lot of my friends who've really, really good work, right? Overall. So it's a platform that you can use to spread your experiences, to talk about what you like think about, and you know, you're doing it for a good cause.
Yeah. And also, especially like with me and my YouTube channel, like again, like I don't want to be like just like an average person on the street. Like I also want to be special in my own way too. And one of the biggest reasons why I make my videos, especially with like vlogs, traveling, things like that, is because I don't want people to just be stuck at home, you know, watching TV all day, not doing anything, and just like kind of getting more depressed. But, you know, like literally even going into your own backyard, your own city, like you can literally find stuff you haven't seen before. Yeah. Like especially in 2018 when I had my electric skateboard, me and Krivi were having electric skateboards, we were riding around like town and stuff. And I found some places here in Folsom that I've never seen before, like in the past, like, you know, 17, 18 years that I've been here. Because especially like, I think one of these roads that like goes to like a local Walmart, underneath that road is like an underground tunnel where you can like ride your bikes and skateboards and things. So yeah, literally just like traveling to places, even your own city. And also it just like opens up your mind, opens like your mind about like, you know, like your culture, other people's cultures, the way how people interact. And it's such a good thing to do. It like really, it's pretty much like a stress reliever, really. So that's why I make my videos, just to make, you know, people be like, hey, stop watching my videos, stop watching other people's videos, and get outside.
Yeah, I mean, and like your videos are really nice because you have like the whole drones and everything, right? And you can drive to places, so you can give just extreme shots of like overview shots, things like that. I don't know the correct terminology, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, just like top down, things like that.
Yeah, like I just take picture, that's all I know. I don't know too much about photography or videography, but it's just it's nice to see, you know, that you take what you get, right, and you make something out of it.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, just because like I've been watching your YouTube channel since day.
Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, this guy's been like one of my biggest fans, so I know for sure.
So like your video, I think you went to like was it Tahoe or something like that?
Yeah, that was like in December. Yeah,
December. Yeah, it was the New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, the 2020 short film.
Yeah, so like that one just right there, like it's a beautiful project.
Yeah,
just to see that Anish has done something, you know, all the shots, because he's like, he takes them in creative ways, right? He enjoys what you do.
Exactly, yeah.
So how can you not support that?
Yeah.
If I see you doing something you enjoy that you're good at, how can I not support that?
Exactly, yeah. And also I feel the same way with Sankalp and like, you know, your poetry and your books. Like if I see you like liking it, like, dude, I'm going to support you for sure. So yeah. But also like I think 2019 for me was probably like one of the best years of my life, since I traveled to like pretty much a lot of the places where I wanted to go to. Like in April I went to Japan, like by far the best place I've ever went to. Like I went to go see like the temples, like Kyoto, things like that. The scenery there is like amazing, and also dude, the culture there, especially like the people, the way how they like interact with you, right? Like there's no disrespect. People like aren't stalking you or like, you know, staring at you, like in India, for example. It's true. But like people are like super respectful. They're like open to talk with you, even though they speak like another language. Like they're like willing to be open. Like that's just kind of the way who they are.
Dude, to travel just sounds like I've only traveled to India. Like I haven't really traveled too much, to be honest.
Dude, like I'm telling you, like hopefully if, COVID within like the next, 2, 3, or 4 years, whatever, like if we can like get back to like traveling, like airlines and stuff, like I'd highly recommend you to do it. Just like travel to a different place. Yeah, Japan. And also like I really want to go to like Sri Lanka because that's where my dad was brought up. And also places like Iceland, Norway, because like honestly I love cold weather, especially like the fall and winter time. I don't know, but for me like those 2 seasons are just like my favorite seasons for sure. Yeah,
I can agree, dude. They just because you can get really comfy and cozy, right?
And also like it's like family time because we have Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that. I mean, even though like we're Hindus, like we can still like obviously like celebrate those traditions as well.
Yeah, and I mean even if not, it just gives you more opportunities to be with your family. Like you have Thanksgiving break, you have Christmas break. Even if you don't celebrate those holidays, you can still spend time with
family. Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that. Like I've seen that in a lot of different places on the plane. Like I haven't traveled, but I've heard about places.
Yeah.
So it's like just seeing how important family is in different cultures really interests me.
Yeah.
Just because like it depends where you go. Like I know in Italian culture, family is big. And a lot of European cultures, from what I've seen, like Eastern European, Western European, I've seen, I may be wrong, but I've seen that family is really important. So it's cool to see how people put so much value into family.
Yeah. Because I feel like between me and you, like I think I've probably traveled to more places than you have. Because I've been to, one, Japan. Also, I think in the summertime we went to Europe as well because that's like the #1 place my mom wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And also I went to Canada. Also love Canada. Shout out to all the Canadians out there. Yeah. So that was also really fun to do. But yeah, like for you, I think like, have you like visited any other place, like especially besides India, or is that it?
Okay, I've only left the United States to go to India.
Yeah, but how many times? Like, how often do you go?
Growing up, I used to go somewhat frequently. We wouldn't really go anywhere else just because we would, save up to go to India, and we would, my parents wanted me and my brother both to be brought up in the traditional environment. They wanted me to spend time with my grandparents. I didn't really get to spend time with a lot of my cousins. Like I have so many aunts and cousins that I have no idea.
Okay, wait. I want to ask you a question. Like, how awkward does it get? Like, how awkward does it get? Like, when especially you're talking to like a relative of yours, like an aunt, uncle, like cousin. Like, does it get awkward, or like do you guys like get into it pretty well, like a conversation?
It depends. Okay, here's the thing. So I'm fluent in speaking Hindi, right? Like I'm, because that was my first language.
Yeah, and also he's North Indian, I'm South Indian, but also even in mine, which is Tamil, like I'm not that fluent in that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm fluent in Hindi, right? All of my cousins, for some reason, not all, but like a lot of them, that I don't talk to that often, that I see only at like once a year at a family gathering. For some reason, they just, every time they talk to me, it's only in English, right? Everyone else, they'll talk to in Hindi, right? And I'll respond to their question in Hindi, but then they'll continue talking to me in English, right? Like, after a point in time, I just feel like they're showing off their English skills and I'm showing off my Hindi skills. That's all that it is. We're not having a conversation. We're just showing off, oh, I can talk like you and you can talk like me.
I mean, it's like a way of like respect too, right? Like, it's like, hey, like I respect you and like the way how you speak, and also like, vice versa.
Yeah, but like, to me, it's like, I've seen these people before in my life. It's not like I'm meeting them for the first time.
Is it more like showing off or like?
Yeah, a lot of it is showing off. They just want to prove, I can speak in your language. Yeah. Okay, I can speak in yours too. There's no big deal.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, it's actually, it's, to be honest, to be very frank, it's not cousins as much as it is like uncles. Oh my god. Like, I've had so many conversations with just people at like parks and stuff like that, where first off, when you're in India, as soon as they find out you're not from India,
it goes out.
Like, dude, in Delhi, because I'm from New Delhi, or as people here say, Delhi.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just different, right? Because all of a sudden you're treated and you're looked at as different.
Yeah.
whether you speak with the right accent or anything. Because even my Indian accent for speaking Hindi is like completely proper because it was my first language.
Yeah, and also like anytime I like see you talking with your parents, like I know you have like that accent as well.
Yeah. So here, I'll demonstrate real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if I'm talking to like the homies, or if I'm talking in in America to non brown people, I'd talk like I am talking right now. But if I'm talking to like Indian uncles and aunties, right, at like a party or something like that, then all of a sudden my accent switches to like this.
Dude, I love it.
It's completely like neutral. Like I don't do it on purpose. It just happens.
Yeah.
But then when I'm talking to the homies, it's back to this accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I can't do anything about it. It's the way I was brought up. My brother does the same thing. And we make a lot of fun of it. I make fun of him.
Yeah.
When he does it, he makes fun of me when I do it. But I don't know what to do about it, dude.
I think what we're gonna do, especially like with the audio portion, if you guys want to hear like a bit more of like a longer thing, because since we are gonna have like the video portion is gonna be there, but if you guys want to listen to some more stuff that we're gonna talk about, like more hidden secrets about me and Sankalp, make sure to stay tuned for the audio portion. It's gonna be like on all of our audio platforms, so Spotify, iTunes. If you guys want to hear that, make sure to check it out. But I think we're gonna wrap up the video portion soon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so if you guys want to hear the audio portion, make sure to wait.
Continue to watch or listen.
Yeah, listen.
Okay.
All right. Wait, you were saying something? I forgot.
I have no idea. We'll just move on, right? Like, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
But okay, kind of going back to college. Do you think what clubs would you have joined?
Clubs? Probably like the tennis club, because I played varsity tennis in high school, so I'd have wanted to join that. And I've even like gotten emails too, like, hey, do you want to join the tennis club? But I feel like now it's just like kind of awkward since it's already started, and like no one's actually like playing or anything. So, like I just didn't really join it. But if we ever do get back onto campus, if it does get fixed within like the next 3-4 years, then I'll try to join it for sure. Yeah.
What do you think is the most COVID-friendly sport?
COVID-friendly? Anything that's non-contact. So I feel like probably yours. I mean, you're talking sports, right?
Sport.
Okay,
yeah.
Sports. Let me see. Maybe golf. I feel like that's because like you have your own set of golf clubs and golf balls, so you're not touching each other's equipment. Because it's like basketball, tennis, you guys are touching like the same ball. So yeah, I feel like that is. What about you? What do you think?
I can agree to that. Yeah. I was just thinking about the sport too. I forgot what it was. Oh, man. But yeah, there's no. Okay, never mind. I forgot it.
I see.
Yeah, but no, I can agree with golf. Golf is pretty COVID friendly.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I'm not good at golf, so that's why I don't play it.
Dude, I've never played golf in my life.
The only thing I do is just like top golf, like occasionally if it's like a birthday or something, like I'll go play. Yeah.
I've actually never been to top golf.
You haven't?
No.
Oh. I mean, it's honestly a pretty fun experience. So if you ever get the chance, you can probably do it.
I'm definitely planning on going eventually.
Yeah.
But as of now, my only experience with golf is putt-putt golf. Or like mini golf. That's it. And I'm not the best at that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty garbage.
Yeah, even I'm garbage too. I'm not great at it.
Yeah. I've only played like contact sports my entire life. I've played basketball. I did martial arts. I used to play a lot of football. Never.
Oh really?
As a
you play football?
Never in like in a team or anything. But whenever you're at lunch or something like that in elementary school, not in high school or in middle school. We used to play a lot of football. Me and my brother, when we back where we used to live, where we grew up, we used to play a lot of football. We used to there was a lot of contact then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just because me and my brother, we're 2 years apart. We grew up like just doing a lot of activities, so whatever we did, we had to make sure it was a contact sport.
Yeah.
Just because if it's non-contact, it's
just not as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. All right. I think that should do it for the first podcast for Brown Boys Theory, eh? Yeah. So this is going to be the video portion. If you guys want to listen to some extra stuff, make sure to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, things like that. And also for those who are only just going to be watching the video portion, I don't know why you would, But make sure to go check us out on our socials. You can check out like my YouTube channel, my Instagram. Check out SANKALP'S Instagram, and we also have a joint Instagram for our podcast, which is brown_boys_theory. I had to look it up before just to make sure. Yeah. So if you guys want to like DM us, contact us. Also, if you guys like want to be a guest on the podcast too, just like make sure to DM us. Just let us know. And SANKALP'S the one who's going to be checking that out, so he'll be responding. If you guys have anything good you guys want to talk about, like whatever topics, whether it's like politics,
or if you want us to talk about something,
something like politics, religion, whatever.
Exactly.
100%. So just let us know. And that's gonna do for us right now. Peace.